Yo, what's the crap, boys? It's now time for the All-NBA teams to be decided. I've got my list. Everyone's got their list. People are going to disagree. People are going to agree. Who cares? Let's get into it. I'm going to start from the first team and just work my way down. That's just more entertaining. So, two guards. Obviously after next season, it's going to be positionless, which will definitely change a lot. Like, we could damn near have an All-NBA team which has, just all forwards or, all guards. I think the first team will probably just be, I think there'll be one guard next year, but, who knows? Let's focus on the All-NBA teams now. So, my first guard, I've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't think I really need to explain much, especially for the first two teams. It's kind of self-explanatory, especially if you're paying attention. Shai, 31 points per game. Two-way monster. One steal, one block. Only, LeBron, MJ, and D Wade have done that, and Shai. Been an absolute menace, had some great game winners this season. Took in that leap to superstardom, which, he's now in his prime. OKC can definitely make the playoffs still. They won the playoff game. He was a huge part of that. Just being their MVP. He did receive an MVP vote this season, which I disagree with. You can't, they're 40 and 42 or 42 and 40, something like that. Nah, but obviously I get it. He is their MVP, but, it's complicated. But Shai is my first guard. Pretty self-explanatory. Next guard. Now, see, this is where, the guard position is a bit odd, but I'm going with Donovan Mitchell. Had his best season yet. 28 points per game. Had that 71-point game. Made the most threes, this season. And, when he plays, most of these players, every, 20-plus point game start, a lot of them, haven't played, the 65-game rule that's going to kick in next season. But when Donovan Mitchell plays, they're at a 54-win pace, which is, tied for the third record in the East. Obviously, Cleveland, they got, 50 wins, playing the Knicks this season. Cleveland, I'll say this. Cleveland is the most underrated team. I can't believe how much people are sleeping on the Cavs. Cleveland probably going to beat New York in 6 or 7 games. Going to give Milwaukee an absolute insane series. I'm expecting that series to go to 6 or 7. But Donovan Mitchell has been absolutely elite this season. Scoring, his playmaking's been going up. Probably the best trade this offseason. Definitely, deserves an MVP vote. He's literally been the MVP of that team. Elevated that Cavs team who missed the playoffs last season. 7th seed, lost the play-in, something like that. Now they're in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell, 100% All-NBA first team. Now, next two positions are, everyone should really agree, it's Tatum and Giannis. I don't really need to say anything. No, but the center position, which a lot of people are going to debate on, is it Jokic, is it Embiid? I've got Embiid personally. He's my MVP pick. Maybe a bit of bias because I'm a Sixers fan. I don't care, bro. Embiid has got to make the NBA first team. But next season, I definitely expect Tatum, Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic to make the first team. Kind of how, it's good that they're adding it, but, that is my first team. What do you think about it? I think that is quite a consensus first team. A lot of people have said this is their first team. You could add Luka, which, I wouldn't, disagree with. But, the two guards in that spot, made the playoffs. Obviously, the trade and that happened, but that's my All-NBA first team. Now, All-NBA second team, first guard, De'Aaron Fox. He has to make it. I decided to put third team, I definitely get it. First team, I'd say it's a little too far. But De'Aaron Fox, All-NBA second team, I think is probably the median what it will be. Like I said, you put him on the third team, I totally get it. Being one of the most clutch players this season, at least top 2. I don't exactly know in clutch points. It's between him and Embiid. Hit some nasty game winners, upped his game to all-star level. Maybe he'll reach that superstar level like Shai has. We'll just have to wait and see. De'Aaron Fox has been absolutely incredible this season. Improved almost all the aspects in his game. And, now that, Halliburton's gone, he's really got freedom to, have his team, have the ball in his hands, play, make, score. Obviously, his teammate on Sabonis, I'll say now, he's on this team as well. Well, third team, but De'Aaron Fox has been absolutely sensational this season. A great year. He's finally made up that promise for making the Kings to the playoffs. Great, you love to see it, bro. Everyone's rooting for De'Aaron Fox. All-NBA second team, De'Aaron Fox. All-NBA second team, Luka. Self-explanatory again. If, Dallas made the play-in or the playoffs, he'd probably been, the first team over Donovan Mitchell, but, a big part of why the Mavericks haven't made the playoffs is kind of it's definitely shifted blame, but Luka's some part of that reason. But once again, he's had an incredible statistical season. 32, 8-8, had that 61, 20 rebound, 10 assists, triple-double. Bro, Luka's just phenomenal, bro. This is a pick I don't really need to explain. but there you go. Now, this is a pick which he has to make it, bro. Like, if anyone makes an All-NBA team and does not have Jaylen Brown on it, it's invalid, bro. Jaylen Brown, I think he averaged like 27 this season. I'm not exactly sure. Second best player on one of the best teams in the league. Second best player that's probably going to win the championship this season. Everyone knows how good Jaylen Brown is. Was amazing in the finals last season. Great two-way player. Had some great games. Hit some amazing clutch shots. First one that comes to mind is that bank shot against Miami. That deep three. Absolutely incredible. Jaylen Brown deserves his flowers. Absolute insane player. You know, like I said, you have to have him on your team, bro. Second best player on one of the best teams in the NBA has to make it. Now, this pick might be controversial. You might have this guy on the third team over someone who I've got on the third team. I'm going with LeBron James. 29-something points per game. The 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Somewhat of a, like, do you know what I mean? Broke the scoring rate. Like, LeBron, I think, probably should be on the third team. I'm kind of a bit of a LeBron fan. So maybe that's my bias kicking in. It is my list after all. So I don't give a fuck. LeBron's had, once again had a great season. 29 points per game, bro. Like, where does that's got to be like top 5 scoring season for him this season. Absolutely incredible. Since he turned 38, averaging like 29. Maybe he's averaging 27, 28. I mean, I've not checked. I've just really been, this is off just memory, moments of the season. LeBron's just been great for his age this season, which maybe is a bit weird. I'm, putting someone on an NBA team over a guy who's on another team just because age. Maybe that's not fair, but it is what it is. LeBron's been great this season. Looks like he's not slowing down. Still one of the best players in the NBA. Easily top 10 player this season. Probably not top 5. LeBron's a top 10 player, bro. If KD played a lot of games, it's hard to say because KD's had the first 55, 40, 90 season. But he only played like 40-something games. So it's like, yeah, KD should make it. Like, if KD, was not as injury prone as he's been since his, big injury, he'd probably have an MVP, all NBA teams, Brooklyn Nets, big three. But yeah, LeBron's just made it for me, I think. AD could be on this too, but is what it is. But yeah, LeBron's been my pick. Had some great games. Nearly scored 50 this season. LeBron's just crazy. And then for my center position, it's obviously Jokic. Jokic has had an incredible season this year. Pretty sure he led the league in triple doubles. Has some great clutch shots. Insane triple double numbers, this and that. This pick as well is pretty self-explanatory. I don't really need to explain it. Obviously, you can have him over Embiid. That's just personal opinion based, whether you have him over Embiid or not. But next year, Jokic is going to make the first team. We all know it. Right, now my All-NBA third team. This is where it's a bit selective. I've got honorable mentions as well. A lot of players have been missed out on this, which seems kind of unfair, but nobody really cares about an All-NBA fourth team. Do you know what I mean? So my two guards, Steph and Dame, if they played more games, they'd probably be first team, at least second team. Dame, got shut down this season. Was injured, had that calf injury, was out for a while. Obviously, Dame's had 31 points per game, 71 points. Dame's had a crazy season this year. Same with Steph. Obviously, he was a bit injured as well. Warriors were struggling. Now, now they're in the playoffs. They made a comeback. 6th seed, they made it. Steph, Steph is just one of the greatest players ever. Same with LeBron. So he makes his list. Steph's always just gonna have a good season. Those two picks are pretty self-explanatory. Those are just some of the best players in the game that just make the teams. Next up, I got Jimmy Butler, who it was between him and LeBron, who was going to go in the All-NBA second team. I chose LeBron, probably some bias, even though I'm a big Jimmy fan. Obviously plays for the Sixers. I would do anything for Jimmy to be on the Sixers. But yeah, Jimmy's one of the best intangibles players. He doesn't need to score 30 to impact, even though he's had lots of great games. His season average of 22 doesn't really, Jimmy Butler, yeah, exactly, intangible player. Jimmy Butler's stats doesn't show how good he is. It's always been that way. Jimmy Butler's bro, Jimmy Butler's gonna go off. I'm expecting the Heat to make the playoffs. I'm expecting them to beat the Bulls. Come on now. When it comes to playoff time, I'm expecting a big performance from Jimmy. Even though, when they played the Bucks, he struggled a lot in 2021. That's when everyone had the big expectation. Then last season, it was let's see what the Miami Heat do. Boom, Jimmy has amazing playoffs. Damn near could have went to the finals. Could have maybe won it. But obviously now, there's a big expectation. That's normally when it's But, we'll see what happens. I'm expecting Jimmy to have a great season. He did have a great year. Miami kind of underperformed. They were the first seed last season. So, a bit of a drop down, but it is kind of the people around them. I think Jimmy's just had a great year this year. Now, next up, it would be rude not to have a New York Knicks player. I've got Jalen Brunson in my honorable mentions, but I've got Julius Randle. Had that 50-point game. Obviously, Jimmy Butler. Julius Randle's not the perfect player. His value for his contract is fair, I'd say. Just been great. 25 points per game. Good rebounds. Was he an all-star? Bro, I'm such a casual, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god, man. Julius Randle's had a great year this season. New York is back on top. The league's always better with the Knicks. He's been a big part. Obviously, Julius Randle, I'm getting names mixed up again, bro. Jalen Brunson, obviously a big part of that, but Julius Randle's game this season has been amazing. He hit some good shots. He's had a lot of great games this year. You could put Siakam over him, but 5th seed in the East versus the 11th, Toronto's got knocked out of playing, bro. Disappointing year for them, so I'm just going to go with Julius Randle. And then for my last pick, at the center position, I've got Sabonis. Self-explanatory, up there in the MVP ladder, had some great games. Do I need to explain this one? A lot of people get Kings 3rd seed. He's been amazing this season. Defensively, I think the Warriors are going to have fun with the Kings. That's another talk for another day, but Sabonis, he's had a great career. Definitely Hall very good for this generation. Made a lot of all-star teams, made some NBA teams. Now he's back. He's just a good player. A solid player you want on your team, especially, Kings. This is a perfect situation for him. So, yeah. Some honorable mentions off the top of my head. Let's be real, this is off the top of my head. Siakam, Trae Young, Jalen Brunson, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Drew Holiday, James Harden. That's all I can think of. See you later.